A local producer's program is next here on Oshkosh Community Access Television.
Packer fans, welcome to Packer Talk with Green Show with my special guest Dan Smet from
Rice Lake.
Rice Lake.
Ed Pierce.
Ed Pierce from Milwaukee. They're both live in Oshkosh area. And I'd like to thank, before I get started, I'd like to thank my sponsors, Ratchet's Pizza. Thanks, guys. Audio Plus for the video, and for Coca-Cola for a little soda drink here down at the show. We're going to talk about the great game in the weather this past week against the so-called whining 49ers. We'll get into the DeBartolo punch with the fan on the outside and all this stuff. But we're looking. I lost my tote board holder, guys, so we'll get it up here a little bit. Time of possession, we got 34 minutes. They're 26, about 8 minutes longer than they had the ball. First downs are pretty close, 15 to 12. Total yards pretty close, but we had the most important thing about that stat, guys, you can see is what?
Rushing.
139 rushing yards. That's very good. A mutter. Everybody's got a mutter. We got a couple mutters up there. Dynamite Desmond, special teams, perfect. What a way to start the game. We're not, of course, they really go to holler at him with the changing the pants and coming late on the field. So I mean, he might have had a few words, but nothing really. He's not going to chew them out too much. Special teams, field position, all. When you get a lead like that, gentlemen, we'll talk about the field position game. You know, get a lead like that, play field position. If you get a first down, keep the clock running, get a touchdown. But basically, it's a field position game once you get the weather and you get a lead like this. They scored in the beginning in the second half with that kickoff miscue, but then we used the 7.5 minutes in the third quarter. We scored right back with Edgar Bennett with Antonio Freeman picking up the loose ball. Oh, so sorry, you cow pies. So sorry, you cow pies. Bye. And a great weather. I love the weather. It was cold. That was the best weather I've ever been to at Lambeau Field. Another side, gentlemen, look at Rice. They took care of Jerry, overcooked Rice again.
5 receptions.
Yeah, 5 receptions, and I think his biggest one was 11 yards or something. They have to stop their whining. Just face the fact, you 49er guys. We are the best team, so you got beat by the best team. So quit your whining and just take a vacation for about 6 or 7 months. Young, we don't know if he's going to retire, guys. He had concussions this past season, three of them, and broken ribs he had against the Eagles.
Yep.
Eagles. And with this mile here, that punch here with Eddie DeBartolo punching that fan outside by the buses where the 49ers pick up their bus and stuff. We don't know really what went on. And also on the bottom, see ya. So, guys, what do you want to talk about first? Ed or Dan? What do you want to talk about first? The weather or the mutters or the...
Great start.
Just like last year. How about Desmond Howard?
Good start, just like last year, yeah. A couple key plays broke us out, and Desmond's punt returns set the pace, set the tone of the game.
He sure is a dynamite.
Put San Fran on their heels right away.
Yeah, and then after, like we said before, you get a big lead like that, you guys, well, I mean, we want to score and use the clock up as best as possible, but if you don't, have your defense do what they did, hold them down and give them nothing, and just play a field position with the punters and back and forth, and which we did later on. You know, we played pretty good field position with these guys.
Yeah, our average starting field position is what the San Fran 49-yard line by halftime.
It helps, you know, Brett wasn't even on the field yet, and they got a 7-0 lead, you know.
Yeah.
That helps a lot.
Yes, and speaking of Brett, and he only threw 15 passes. I don't know, do you read anything about, is that the lowest for him in a long time, passing attempts? Yeah, I think it was 11 to 5 for 79 yards. That's pretty low. And of course, when you in a game like that, we needed to run the ball, and we did it very effectively.
Yeah,
Edgar runs well in you know, crappy weather. Like
Mutter, yeah. You know, Edgar Bennett's a free agent this year. You know, he only basically signed a 1-year deal. But the Green Bay Packers, I think, have to go out and sign him to more than 1 year, because you need this guy. And Dorsey Evans is a mutter too. in December, November, December, January games. And it's exactly what he did this past week is prove his self-worth to us as a mutter and control the clock that way. I mean, he didn't get a lot of yardage per carry, but they were very effective yardage, the ones that he did get in Dorsey Lemons.
Yeah, they set us up with like 3rd and short a lot of times, and that was nice to have for the offense to work with.
I think it would help a lot more if Edgar could hold on to the ball, a
Well,
lot more than he does.
when he went in that end zone, I think myself personally, you know what I mean, try to hold it in and
cross the
put your
plane,
head
yeah.
down and bulldoze. He had a touchdown anyway. Just hold your head down and hold onto the ball with 2 hands and sort of submarine that job in there instead of like this, And but fortunately, Antonio was there to pick it up and we got 6 out of it.
Yeah, right place at the right time. We had a lot of breaks, as we saw. The
The
fumbles.
offensive line did an awesome job
We
blocking.
got to give the offensive line kudos. I mean, these young guys from right to left, Frankie Winters, of course, in the center,
Middle 3.
and the guards and the tackles, and they did a super job, and they're really coming into their own. They're pretty much underrated and underappreciated by a lot of people in the NFL center.
Because everybody notices Dallas's big offensive line, and they never, the Packers never get no notoriety. So.
Yeah, but they have come around the last 5 weeks. The running game's become a lot better.
Well, overall, I think we're not the best running team in the NFL, but we've had, I think, only 3 or 4 games under 100 yards. So a running game this year, gentlemen, has been a lot better than it has been in the last 25 years. So Coach Holmgren, he's even admitting it now. If the running game, he's not going to shy away from it. If he believes in these guys and trusts these linemen and the running backs to make holes, to make yardage, he's going to stay with it. He's not going to abandon it like he sometimes so often does. He abandons the run when they're not doing very well. He goes to the pass. But he's going to stay with the out of ground game now.
Yeah, we have to mix it up. We can't have Favre throwing 61 times or whatever it was like he did last time against San Fran.
Right.
Got to be able to mix it up effectively.
Yep. We can look at this a little. How about what that thing with Desmond's in with the pants and the laundry business? What's going on? What do you think that was all about? Do you think whose fault? I mean, really not a fault, but where the problem lie? I guess.
I have no idea, but I think if he's going to change his clothes, he should do it right away when he gets in the locker room. I don't know if you wait until the last minute, but
Yeah, Desmond said they had different parts all over the locker room. They weren't all in the same
Well,
place. So they keep running back and forth.
If that's the case, the equipment manager or who's ever in charge of that, the equipment manager should pretty much have every gentleman, every guy in the player. George Kuntz has his own set, and Reggie has his own set, and Brett Favre. Everybody should have their own set, pretty much lined up by their locker, and take it from there. I mean, don't throw everything all helter skelter and try to pick up your own pants or whatever.
I don't think Desmond knew how much time was really left in the half either. When he's running around for his clothes like that.
Right, that was kind of funny. That's a funny. Well, we can laugh at stuff like that when we win. I guess we can laugh at our mistakes in the fumbles that we do when we win. So.
Yeah, it wasn't too funny though at the time when we saw Andre Rison laying down
Yeah,
because
that
of
wasn't too funny. And Desmond said so. He was more worried about that than what his butt chewing he would have got. So, and we should. Oh, I really should have put on this clipboard about the INTs Eugene Robinson and these guys picked up this past week.
Eugene had 2.
Yeah, Eugene had 2, and Craig Newsom had 1. I mean, do you think that them 4 defensive backs as a whole are probably the best set of 4 defensive backs in the NFL? Do you think?
I think they're one of the top sets.
I don't really know who's going to be.
They've come around this year a lot.
Well, yeah. Well, Newsom stepped in right away, and Evans is really doing well.
Great leadership.
Oh, they have such leadership on the defensive backs, Leroy Butler, and I mean, we do have the best team in the NFL. And
Number 1 defense.
And our schedule, we played the toughest schedule in the NFL.
Yeah.
We come out with 13 wins, and
That's a big factor right there. To have toughest schedule and come out the way we did.
Yes.
The best record proves a lot.
it does. It proves I think, more to themselves. I mean, they're worried about themselves. All along, they're worried about themselves, doing their job, playing play-by-play and game-by-game, then everything else will fall down in place as it comes.
Yeah.
But they sure appreciate themselves. They're very team-united, unity on that team up there at Lambeau Field.
I don't think the injury to Kuntz is going to hurt him that much.
George Kuntz is nothing's going to stop that juggernaut. Well, George, we're going to miss him. He led the team in tackles and stuff like that. But that
Cox
guy, Cox and Bernardo Harris, Ron Cox and Bernardo Harris are going to step in like nothing really happened. I mean, that's not going to slow us down. I mean, that's really going to be material.
Yeah, Cox from the NFC Central, so he came from the Bears, so he knows what it's all about.
The Bears, boss, the Bears.
We'll give him, it's one against him, but he's a Packer now, so.
Yeah. But what else? No, did you guys go to the game last week?
I did.
What do you think of that weather? Wasn't that great?
It was great. I didn't even feel the cold.
It was fun.
It was
Wasn't it fun?
too intense.
It was really fun. And this week, I don't know what the weather's forecast is going to be. We don't care.
It's supposed to be 5 degrees Saturday and still
5
going
degrees.
lower. Yeah.
And the
Still getting
corner
colder.
sunny or what?
Yep, it's supposed to be colder.
Some wind coming from the north, maybe 30 below or something. And
Oh yeah.
Carolina's only played in 1 out of 32 franchise games. They've only played in 1 game below 36 degrees. So
well, yeah. I mean, last week you watched the Carolina game over to Cal Pies. Very good, Carolina. I mean, they're wearing no shirts, no sleeves, no nothing.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, they better bring their undies and their long undies up to the Lambeau Field this Sunday.
Yeah, even though they say that both teams have to play in it, the thing is they're coming into the mystique and all the rumors and what Lambeau used to be and Titletown, and and the fans, and they're not getting used to that.
Oh, that's right. You're one of the guys that didn't show up, right? Last week?
No.
No. 3 people didn't show up to that game. So I guess that with only 3 no-shows, I don't know exactly that's exact count. I guess there might be a little leeway in there or whatever, but that is a testament to the Packer loyalty, the loyal fans around the Packer games that they don't care if it's 100 below, 100 above, they're going to show up.
Yeah.
And it's really nice. I know down in other cities, down in Texas, down there, they probably would have had 3 shows and everybody else unshowing there.
Minnesota, they had a blackout because not enough people show up.
So it's really nice being a Packer fan. And now it's fun. Now, you guys are really not quite old enough to remember the first couple of Super Bowls the Packers were in. I know we were talking about before the show. Isn't it? I know you guys grew up with the so-called
Bart Starr
coaching
area.
Coaching era and fourth grade coaching era when they were 6 and 10 and
Lynn
8 and 8,
Dickey,
7 and 9s and such and such. And it's really nice to see that these guys are. Well, he's had 5 winning seasons at Green Bay, Coach Mike, and he's not going to go downhill anytime soon. And these, what do you think about the fair weather fans or the bandwagon fans coming? I hope they stay now. You know.
Well, I don't know if they're fair weather fans, the bandwagon fans, if the Packers would ever start, losing again, which I hope doesn't happen. But I think they'll jump right off that wagon,
Yeah, probably. No, we just Brett Favre is coming up for a contract. We all know probably after the season he'll be the highest paid player in NFL history. Of course, Reggie's here. No, Reggie definitely the 5 years guys. He ain't gonna play no 5 years, but he is going to help our free agency market tremendously.
I think Reggie just wants a Super Bowl ring.
There was Super Bowl ring. Hopefully, he says
wants to retire.
Yeah, he wants to stay in Green Bay and live here with his family. But
he has such a positive impact on the players because he taught Keith Jackson and coming out of his holdout to play, and Andre Rison. He has a good impact on all the players that don't know what they should do.
Yes, and he's going to bring the people up here in Green Bay. I think when the season's over, you'll see everybody from soup to nuts come up knocking on Coach Mike's door to try to play for Green Bay.
There's nothing. Green Bay is one of the original teams, and they have such a positive influence. They're not selling out, and there's not one owner that's controlling the team like Jerry Jones making big,
foolish mistakes.
Yeah, foolish mistakes around his team, and they're a well-respected team with a good organization behind them.
Yes.
So everybody respects that and wants a solid team that's going to be there.
They're finally getting the respect they deserve too.
Yes. Well, we gotta earn some more and work at it and stay with it, stay focused. Get to the playoffs a little bit. I think we've been in the Super Bowl twice, and New England's been in it once. The teams that are out of it, like Denver and Pittsburgh and such, and the Cowboys and these guys that are in the tournament, so-called tournament, the Super Bowl tournament, 22 times these other teams have been in the Super Bowl, the ones that are out of it. And now between us and the 4 that are in it, only, of course, I know expansion teams haven't been, but New England's only been in it once, and we've been in it twice.
Yeah.
I mean that. Well, how about that? What do you think about that Denver game? What happened there? Do you think that they probably thought they could turn it on and off anytime they wanted to?
Their defense gave up 30 points, and Elway can't come back all the time, and pressure was too much.
I think it was they were overconfident. They thought they were just going to walk all over them, and it didn't happen that way.
Exactly. Well, we got some ex-Packers on down there, of course, Mark Brunell and Don Davey and Yurko. So Mark Brunell is a very good quarterback, and that game in New England and Jacksonville should be a very good game. Our game, what is our spread? 11 or 12 points now? You said, or
12? Yeah,
12 right now. I think Coach Holmgren has really got his focus on right too. I mean, he's got his team focused. They're going to say, no, we're 12-point under. He's going to use some sort of a reverse psychology, say, no, we're 12-point underdogs. You play like you're 12-point underdogs. And that's exactly what we have to focus on. And don't we have some talent up there in Green Bay and leadership? Isn't that nice?
Oh, yeah. On both sides of the field,
Both sides of the ball. And Desmond Howard has special teams and guys like this. And
role players, they're accepting their roles. Desmond Howard accepts his special teams role, and that's nice to see. And Andre Rison accepts his role as, keeping the defenders off the other receivers and using him as a decoy. Yeah, that's nice to see.
And Chewy didn't catch a pass this week.
Yeah,
I think only Keith only caught one. Sure didn't catch any. You know what that tells you, the blocking. That's why they ran the ball with the blocking scheme that Sherman Lewis and Coach Mike put on the offensive side of the ball, and they ran the ball. You guys are blocking, and that's exactly what, if that's what it takes, gentlemen, that's what they're going to do.
Well, special teams is just awesome, you know.
Yeah, special teams. And in fact, I think all year we haven't given up a long run or on kickoffs and or punts. So, I mean, we are a pretty sound, well, we are a sound football team.
Yeah.
From all three phases, special teams, offense, and defense.
That's been the difference so far. It's like you said, Denver didn't have their defense, and that's what hurt them in their playoff game.
And being healthy.
Yeah.
We've had, you know, offense took most of the shots as far as injuries with Robert and then Antonio gone for a while and Chewy for a while. And with Kenny Rutgers retirement and stuff like this, but now I think everything is on the front page, and we're playing like a front page team.
Yeah.
You know.
We learned how to face adversity with all those players being gone and found a way to win.
Are you guys going to the Super Bowl?
We're going to try.
Try to get down there, huh?
Try,
Yeah. That's the Superdome. I don't know how many, whole 75,000 maybe or something. But there'll probably be 3/4 of them will be Packer fans because there's Packer fans all over the world.
Yeah.
In fact, somebody just come back. A woman I know, she was down in the Caribbean somewhere, and the only game they could get on TV was the Denver Bronco game. But there's all kinds of Packer fans down there. They have to wait for that little square on the bottom that all of them Packer stuff on at this bar down in the Caribbean or somewhere down in the Caribbean somewhere. And a lot of Packer fans down there too. It's fun to be a Packer fan, and I just hope they stay for a while now. Don't be leaving now.
Oh, yeah.
And the weather shouldn't be, well, the weather, I'm waiting for Carolina to come up here in this weather. They're going to really, shock. I mean, it's just not going to be good for them.
It's all about Green Bay is the bad weather and tough weather. And
Well, you know, you want home field advantage.
yeah.
Yeah.
See, in years past, a lot of players didn't want to play in Green Bay because it was too cold. But now, like Dan said, you got Reggie White here, and he's such a good influence. You know.
Yeah, they're actually proud to play in this weather now.
Oh, yeah, they like it.
That's
Well,
a
Brett
great
Favre doesn't like it. He's telling everybody he don't like playing in the cold, but that guy he is a mutter too.
Oh, yeah.
You know, he's a mutter too. And it's everybody's got a mutter. And we got a couple mutters up there. And Aaron Taylor and the offensive lineman, boy, they did a good job on these. Brian Young, of course, I might have made a difference if Brian Young got hurt, you know, this past week, of course. And I don't know how much difference that would have made, but I think the overall picture, we still would have dominated the line with him or without him, maybe a little difference. That's like with the Elway, the Bronco game of 3 or 4 weeks ago. Elway doesn't play defense. He might have made a little difference in the game, but the outcome still would have been a big Packer win. So we're just too dominant, too healthy, too focused, too smart, we're well coached. Fans and the whole ball of wax, we're in the right direction. Why? There's no reason why we're not going down to New Orleans in a couple of
I know the San Francisco papers were saying the reason why they lost is because they lost both the Youngs, you know, early in the game. And
Young and the Restless are gone. Yeah. So, what do you hear about that DeBartolo thing? Anybody? What's your real scoop on that DeBartolo thing? Did he really hit somebody or?
Well, I heard on the radio sports show that 2 fans were going to talk to Elvis Gerbach and give him some flack, and I guess one of DeBartolo's henchmen headbutted the fan, and then DeBartolo punched him.
No, I mean, we don't know. I mean, it's possible. Of course, you don't know. Us Packer fans do have some bad, you know, we do sometimes with a few little beverages do get kind of obnoxious, and it's not for certain that this guy, the fan, didn't say a couple of F words to this guy and stuff. So, I mean, I'm not saying, well, it's not one-sided. It's 2 sides of the coin.
Yeah, well, ESPN had the older guy that got hit, and he said that his friend was one that got headbutted, and then the next thing he knew, he got hit in the mouth, and he didn't know why he deserved it.
Yeah, so anyway, that's a little side note, but I don't know. I guess stuff like that doesn't happen once in a while, and stuff.
Frustration, or
no. We want to see what you got to look at this top board here again, guys. We talked about special teams, field position. They scored in the beginning of the 3rd quarter. We scored right back. Cow pies goodbye. The great weather. Rice, we've been the 3 games we played Rice. You know, like the last year's playoff game in October, the Monday night game here in October, and this game here last week. I don't think he's had more than 15 receptions in 3 games altogether, and maybe 150 yards or something. I mean, he's not doing very much at all. The so-called help that team. One man can't help a team that much, but I mean, he really didn't help them out too much at all. You know.
Yeah, it's nice to shut them down, not let them get started.
And then Brent Jones, and the 49ers came. They really they had all their weapons there. It was supposedly, I mean, Young was hurt before he came to the game a little bit, but he still was there. But they had William Floyd, they had Rice, they had Brent Jones, the tight end. But it don't make no difference.
That's no excuse.
That's no excuse. We beat them up, and we beat them the way we should have. 2 touchdowns they scored were some sort of a, with that fumble kickoff thing, or on a 3-yard line, they better score. And with that other thing on the other end, with that, so I mean,
But we still didn't have Reggie Brooks.
Yeah.
So, or Robert Brooks.
Yeah, Robert Brooks. Yeah,
Yeah.
Brooks, yeah.
But yeah, we didn't have our main receiver either. So I mean,
No.
they can't complain too
To
much.
get onto the receiver part of it, okay, Andre Rison, I don't know what his contract reads, but no, next year Robert will probably be back, and Antonio. Them guys will be the number 1 and 2 guys. I don't know who will play the slot or whatever to be the flank or whatever, but they're going to have to sign Andre Rison. You agree with that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's fell in the system. He likes the way things are run up here. He said it was the first time he felt like he's on a real team.
Yes.
Where everybody got along, and there was no I in team. It was all about everybody being one team.
He's doing pretty good at the Lambeau Leap too, ain't he?
Yeah, he's got that down.
Yeah. We got to make sure that Gilbert Brown never picks up a touchdown and runs in, because them doing a Lambeau Leap is that wall's going to be caved back. A couple of rows will be pushed in there. That big guy.
Can't get up that high. You can't get up that high.
No, but we really are solid, aren't we? In experience.
Yeah.
And I think one thing about this team, we look at this team in all kinds of ways. We're healthy, very talented, a lot of leadership, and focused, and everything. I mean, there's half a dozen things that you can put in there,
A lot of cohesiveness.
and everything is working well for the Green Bay Packers and their fans. And we're got a big win coming up Sunday. We're just gonna, we'll pick a score here in a little bit, but we're gonna dominate these guys. And these guys haven't seen nothing. Well, they played in that division with the New Orleans and St. Louis and Atlanta. So, well, I mean, they did beat the 49ers twice, and stuff. But they got Wesley Walls, big strong quarterback, Collins, Anthony Johnson, a big bowler, or a big running back. I guess that's basically their weapon.
That's a pretty weak division, though.
Yeah, that's a pretty weak division. Well, ours isn't really all that strong either, But we dominated, like we talked about the schedule we had. We dominated the people that we played. But I mean, they have a few weapons. I mean, they have Green a defensive, the linebacker guy. They have Sam Mills. They have a few players. They have some talent, but they don't have enough.
The Latham guy, Lamar
Latham, the linebacker. So, but we'll our offensive line and Coach Sherman Lewis and Coach Michael will figure out schemes to stop these guys from getting to Brett Favre.
I think the big thing is blocking and running again, just like last week.
Right. In fact, isn't it they say run at the strength or play towards the strength of the defense, and the strength of the 49ers defense was supposed to be a tackles, Young and Bryant. And even when Bryant was in there, Brian Young was in there, and Dennis Stubblefield, even then when the 2 guys were side by side, we still ran the ball effectively. So, basically, and Norton comes out there doing all his cocky stuff, hitting bunch and bag like his dad, and he was really a non-factor in the game.
Merton Hanks did the same thing.
Yeah, Merton Hanks, and
he didn't do nothing.
So I mean, we got the talent up here, and there's nobody going to stop us now.
Yeah, that cornerback for Carolina, that Poole, I think, he had a lot of penalties on him.
Yeah.
So if we can hit their receivers and force their defensive backs to screw up like they did a couple times against Dallas, then we should be okay too.
Oh yeah, we got.
Concentrate on the receivers too.
Oh yeah, we're all overall. Yeah, I mean, we are the best team in the NFL. And the Carolina Panthers, God bless them for beating the Cowboys, but they're coming up in Lambeau Field with the weather, the fans, and that super team that we have up there, and coach and all these guys, and we're going to show them how good we really are.
We just got to remember they have nothing to lose, and they're coming out as a new team. So we got to be careful to keep them down, not give them a chance.
Coach Holmgren, I think, has really done a very good job. Don't you believe that? I mean, think that this year he kept this team so focused. They can't say the S word.
Yeah,
it can't be. None of our players are picking on the other players. There's no bad media filtered out of Carolina about they don't really belong to be here and all that other kind of stuff. Everything is basic, sound. Head coach and talking, and the players thinking are very focused.
I think
they're not getting off track by doing all this trash talking as some of these teams do.
Reggie White has a lot to do with that too. Like trash talk between the team.
Yeah.
And I think he sits a lot of guys down and says,
just do your business. Don't worry about talking. You tackle them. Instead of talking, tackle.
Yep.
Really. And okay, we're gonna pick a score up. Dan or Ed, Dan, go ahead. Go first. We think the score's gonna be this week, Sunday. For honor, the next game, of course, will be the Super Bowl. What's going to be the NFC Championship game score?
Hopefully it'll be about 31-10, Green Bay.
Okay, that sounds pretty good. That sounds very good.
I don't know the score. I say the Packers by 17, though.
By 17. I'm coming out saying that the Carolina Panthers, they're a smart cat, but not smart enough. And this is their ninth. They have 9 lives. Cats have 9 lives. Well, this is their 9th one. It's going to be used up. Packers are going to win 27-3. They're going to get one lousy field goal by Casey, I think his name is, their kicker, and we're going to show they're a good expansion team. Of course, they got really loaded up with free agency and they each had about 10 first-round picks and everything else, so they should be pretty good football teams. But we are just so sound, so focused, and so
They're not
healthy.
gonna be able to handle the cold.
And the cold and the fans and the hearing that they're going to be loud up there. You guys that are going to the football game up there this Sunday, be loud and crazy. And at the end of the game, what do you think about the field? Is anybody going to stop the fans from going on the field, or what do you think they're going to do with that?
I really don't think they're going to be able to stop the fans.
You know,
I don't think so either.
you know, I don't think so either. I mean, I think they should let them go on there and sort of. I mean, don't let them get too carried away, do too stupid of things. But you go down and take a chunk of sod and a piece of the goalpost.
You gonna be on there?
I don't know. They know what I look like. So I don't know. I might go down there too. What the heck, for a piece of sod or a piece of goalpost anyway. But I'll filter down there after the mob goes down there. But anyway, I don't know where the Carolina Panthers are staying, but they're going to be a shock with this weather when they get out. When they walk out in that tunnel, the locker room's probably pretty nice and warm. They come out of that tunnel on the south end.
Yeah, there's a big.
They better have their undies on and their longy undies on because they're going to be cold.
Yeah, their trainer put up a big sign in the locker room, I guess, saying bring everything cold, every warm weather piece of clothing you have.
That ain't going to be enough.
No.
But it's nice. Isn't that nice now? I love it. And I'm going down to New Orleans, the Super Bowl. Me and my wife are driving down there. Oh, by the way, one thing, I forgot that I'm unemployed. I got laid off last Friday. So if anybody has a need for a mascot out there, give me a call and I can do a good job for you. As long as your team is green or gold. But so I'm looking for a job and I'm unemployed, and I'm not going to start a job until after Super Bowl, 3 weeks away. So we're just going to enjoy it and collect easy money and go to a couple of football games and come back and get serious about working again in February 1st. So what do you guys do for a living anyway?
I just graduated. I'm a substitute teacher now.
Oh, you're a teacher. Okay, I like that. I like teachers. Yeah, teachers they get my respect. How about you?
I'm a transportation.
He's teaching you. I love it. He's teaching you.
I'm a truck driver.
Truck driver, who is independent or just over the road, or who do you work for?
No, short haul. I
Short
work
haul.
for a place out of Oshkosh.
Oshkosh. My brother's an 18-wheeler. He's been trucking. There's a song, 18 wheels and a dozen roses, or 10 more miles and a 4-day run to go. Well, I guess we got 2 more minutes. I guess I sing, and that's not my forte, but anyway. So that was.
We have to get up to a fast start. That's a big thing.
Yeah. Well,
I believe.
Oh, we know we haven't really started off too fast. I mean, the last 4 or 5 weeks left the game, we scored 10 points and a half, 7, 13.
Yeah.
Then we just third quarter, fourth quarter.
But unlike Denver, we got to keep it going. We can't just let up.
I don't think everybody talks about adjustments. You think about it. We're such a great team and such a leadership-wise team and focused team. They really don't make Coach Holmgren and Fritz Sherman. These guys ain't down in the locker room with chalkboards and chalks and X's and O's. These guys. Reggie White, the leadership of the team, say, okay, we know what we got to do. We just go out there and do it. We know we got stuff to run, and I think we'll stop the run again as usual, and then we'll take care of Kerry Collins, and we're going to just dominate this game. I guess we got a minute left, so.
Yeah, it's not changing anything. Play the way we have been. Fine.
They're not going to. I guess the coaches only had that bye week a couple weeks ago. I guess they went over some film of the Carolina game over the 49ers and a couple of films. They looked at a couple of games, and I'm quite sure that Fritz Sherman and Sherman Lewis and Coach Mike and all these coordinators and stuff, the staff and the players will be ready, focused, and healthy and ready to rock and roll this Sunday and go to New Orleans. Go to New Orleans, baby! Oh yeah! There's some hot Cajun women and hot Cajun food. No, well I won't, Julie. But anyway, so let's say hi to some friends out there, you guys that watch the show on Friday nights. Got some friends out there? Ed and Dan?
We have a few, yeah.
Only Milwaukee.
Oh, say hi to anybody. Well, we got a wrap, so hi everybody out there in Mont, Podcast, and Bounce. Hope you can get the tickets for me, and we'll see you Saturday maybe, and go Pack Go and go Green Bay Sunday. Thanks, sponsors again. Okay, still rolling.